Welcome to Still Serving, the VFW podcast, the official podcast of the veterans of foreign wars. And now, here's your host, Rob Couture.
And welcome back to the 124th National Convention of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, right here at the Phoenix Convention Center in Phoenix, Arizona. And joining me is Mr. Wayne Peacock. He is the CEO of USAA. Sir, it is wonderful to meet you. It's wonderful to have you here and to have USAA present at our convention.
Well, Rob, thank you very much. It's great to meet you as well. And boy, what an awesome time here at the convention so far. The energy is high. And as I was saying to the group earlier this morning, this is about what's right and just in America. And it's great to see so many patriots in the house.
Well, I would tell you, sir, that many of us, myself included, being a 19-year member of USAA, are all very appreciative of the services you provide, the products you provide, banking, savings, investments, insurance. It's been wonderful for all of us, and some of the best customer service I can tell you that I've ever had with any company that I've been with.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. We've got 37,000 teammates, mostly here in the U.S., but in London and Frankfurt as well, that serve our members overseas, and about 20,000 of them are talking to members every single day. So their ability to come to work, to be passionate, to care, to have the competency is really what we work on every day to make sure we're serving military families. And today there's about 13 million members out there that are part of the USAA family.
Yeah, and sir, so let's learn a little bit about you. How did you come into the USAA family?
Well, I started in the real estate business back in 1988, but I think a big part of the story really is intertwined with my marriage and my father-in-law. So I got married at about the same time I started at USAA. My wife's father was a career Corps of Engineers Army officer, served in 2 tours in Vietnam and across the globe. And he did a couple things. He said, if you're going to marry my daughter, you have to get USAA. That's what he called it back in time. And about the same time, there was an opportunity to join the USAA real estate team in Tampa. So the combination of learning about USAA from my father-in-law and him telling me, hey, it's a great company, kind of collided together, and I started in Tampa back in 1988. I've had 10 different jobs at USAA over the years, kind of like the military.
Yeah, right.
Every 3+ years, you get a new assignment. I've worked in just about every area of USAA, and really honored and humbled right before the pandemic broke out to be able to step in and become the CEO and lead USAA into its second century.
What a tumultuous time in order for you to become the CEO, to come right through the pandemic and lead the company out of that. That's great. How's things been going for USAA and its relationship with members at post-pandemic?
Well, look, I think our teammates did a phenomenal job back in March of 2020. We basically picked them up from their desks and asked them to go home. And I think that first couple of weeks was a little iffy, and after that, we really hit our stride. And I think we did a phenomenal job of serving our members during the pandemic. Back at that point in time, people stopped driving. So we were able to deliver about $1 billion of rebates back to our members in the form of additional distributions. And I think it's a great hallmark of who USAA is. Some companies put that profit in the bottom line. We actually put it back to our members. And then through the pandemic, I think we've continued to build on our digital capabilities and be able to do much more self-service. We're already a leader before the pandemic. We just accelerated that journey during that. I will tell you, though, it's a tumultuous time in business. There's all manner of crisis out there.
Yeah.
We're working hard every day to keep our members, our employees, motivated and focused on the number one goal, which is taking great care of people like you.
Oh, sir, very kind of you to say. I definitely remember the rebates that you gave back to the members, myself included. Big help. And it really shows the heart of the company and how you know who you're serving, active duty, guard, reserve, veterans, people that are dependents, people that are legacy of that military. And what is it to you, veterans and service members? How is it that you have found that place in your heart? Does that have something to do with you serving at one time?
Actually, no. I'm the first civilian in the history of USAA to sit, as the CEO. But I grew up in a household that was about service. I was an Eagle Scout. I think
that's what I was getting at
today. So I think, in many ways, the same principles and the values in the Scouts are what the military is all about as
Right.
well. So I think that's been kind of locked in me for a long period of time. And I would say I found my calling at USAA to be committed to something larger than yourself, and
Yeah.
to know that the work you do every day is not only intriguing and exciting, but it matters,
Yeah.
right? And then it matters to people who put a uniform on, put themselves downrange, put themselves in harm's way, and defended our freedom. And I'm so much about democracy and about freedom and capitalism, and I think more people in America need to know that, like, this isn't free, right? The reason we have this wonderful country is because of the service and sacrifice of so many military members and veterans. So it's kind of the least we can do at USAA to give back,
Yeah.
and be all about taking care of them every day. Because you know this really well. The DoD does not pay a lot, right? And the sacrifices that are
Yeah.
made are tremendous. But we got a lot of military families that are living close to the line, and if we can help them with better financial principles, great products and advice, we give them a leg up to build financial security. That's what motivates us every single day.
And one of the things that we have to talk about, and I think it's vitally important to bring this up, is how you've transitioned, not only what you did during the pandemic, but now another level, and where you are looking at ways to get after the mental health crisis that's gone on with a lot of our veterans, those that are having self-harm, suicide, that big issue we have when we lose service members. And not too long ago, you just kicked off your Face the Fight program. We'll talk a little bit about that, if you will.
Well, so Rob, I think we can't touch every military member with our products and services, and quite frankly, our products and services are not going to fully address the challenges of military members and families. So this idea of family resilience has been a big part of what we've done outside of our kind of commercial activity for a while. But back in 1922, 5 Army officers and 20 of their friends got together because there was an unmet need for auto insurance for active duty officers.
Right.
And over the years, we've listened to our members about what they need, and we've been hearing from them for years that this is a big problem, veteran suicide, and that USAA should step into this fight and do something about it. So we spent the last 18 months really kind of planning and putting together today what is a coalition of corporations, foundations, VSOs, folks like the VFW, and other veteran service organizations that are extending care, and brought them together to say, okay, this has to be a whole of country approach to solve this problem. So if we can support and supplement the work of the VA and the DoD, expand care out into broader community settings, I think we have a real chance to prevent veteran suicide.
It's wonderful.
Some of the stats that are, I think, important for our audience to know: 120,000 deaths by suicide amongst veterans since 9/11. That's about 4 times the number of casualties, the number of people who died in combat, right? That's unconscionable that we've allowed that to happen, that's occurring today. The rate for veterans is about 1.5 times the national average, and the rate of young males 18 to 34 has doubled during that period of time. So this is a big challenge. It's also one that is intertwined with mental health. So there's a lot of work going on to enhance capabilities there, to enhance care. And I would tell you, one of the first things we need to do is break the stigma of being able to ask for help, to be able to ask and get care. Because if you're unwilling to talk about it, you're not ever going to get connected. And we know, we teach in Warrior Ethos that we're strong, we can handle anything. And I think we've got to open up and say it's okay to be vulnerable, and to ask for help. So there's a lot going on the mental health front across many spectrums. And I think what's also true that folks need to know is over half of the deaths by suicide were not from folks who were diagnosed with a mental health issue. They come from these attendant issues like transitioning out of the military and kind of feeling disconnected, family or relationship issues, alcohol or drug abuse, financial challenges. So our ability to get kind of left of those and help to prevent some of those challenges will be really important as well. So that's a bit, of what we're doing. But I think at the bottom line, we want to cut it in half by 2030. And we know that's aspirational, but we're really trying to create a clarion call to bring everyone together to say, what can we do more of, and what can we do differently to attack this problem?
You brought some great partners on when you had the kickoff. You want to talk a little bit about some of those organizations?
Yeah, so we've got some great corporate and foundation partners. So the Humana Foundation, who is a huge supporter of the VFW, is one of the founding partners. Reach Resilience, one of the Endeavor foundations, came together, and between the three of us, we've really seeded this effort with about $40 million. But today we have about 50 other organizations that have joined the coalition, and so I think we're starting to get that network built. We're triaging today, connecting with people who want to help, who have been helping, and asking and answering how we can scale their activities.
If there's more information that people want to get about Face the Fight, where do they go? Do they go to the USAA website?
You can go to the USAA website and we'll direct you, but where you can go straight on is to wefacethefight.org. So we launched that site about 4 weeks ago now. It's got a lot of information about what we're doing, how you can support. It also has an opportunity to support financially. And I'm really excited about what we've built, whether you're a corporation like ours or a foundation, and we're talking to many of them, or you're an individual like you and me and you want to donate, you can lean in and donate at wefacethefight.org as well.
Wonderful. Anything you want to leave our audience before you go?
I do. I think that breaking the stigma matters. Connecting at a very personal level matters. I heard Commander Borton today talk about a buddy check. Like, I would talk about it in these terms of safety plans, right? If we can help folks who are at risk to develop a safety plan that says, when you have ideations like this, like, here's the game plan, here's who you need to call, here's who you can reach out to for help, I think that is really, really important. There's about a 72-hour window from ideation to the act occurring. Many people make that decision, over half of them within an hour, and many of them make it within 5 minutes. So if we can help to train and kind of create this idea of a safety plan, and you're feeling that way, rather than making the decision, you make a call, that's going to be a huge prevention in the moment. And then what I would say to anyone who's in trouble or stressed today, dial 988 to the National Suicide Prevention Helpline. Press 1, you're going to get someone immediately. It's a great way in the moment to both help in the moment, but also direct you to care. And then the last thing that I would say is that if you're one of us, and really anyone in America today, reach out to your veteran network and check on them. And that's what Tim talked about earlier today, as a buddy check.
Right.
Every one of us can get connected. And I heard a great comment last week. Don't text them. Like, pick up the phone and call and talk like a human being to a human being. And when you do, ask them how they're doing, right? That's the first step to help people open up and talk about whether they have a problem. And we've heard multiple stories in the last month where people have done that just in the last month. And when they made that call, their buddy they were checking on said, I'm so glad you called today because, fill in the blank. So I think it's really important for us to help more people get a safety check, or safety plan, but it's also important for each of us to reach out to and do buddy checks with our friends. And then last thing, just come back. Like, if you're in stress today, dial 988.
Wonderful. Mr. Wayne Peacock, CEO of USAA. Wayne, thank you so much.
Rob, thank you. Thanks for your service. And the VFW is doing amazing, amazing work. So thank you.
Wonderful. And we'll be back right here at the 124th National Convention of the Veterans of Foreign Wars in Phoenix, Arizona.
Thank you for listening to Still Serving, the VFW podcast. To learn more about the Veterans of Foreign Wars, please visit our website at vfw.org and follow us on Facebook at VFW Fans and on Twitter at VFWHQ.